Reds. Welcome back to another Liverpool Latest. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Matt. If you enjoy the video, leave a like on it, comment your thoughts down below, and if you're new here, subscribe to never miss an upload. It's Saturday as I'm recording this video, and some of us who are Liverpool fans might consider this to be a Saturday from hell, because everything that could go wrong today has been going wrong. Let's first start off with Jeremy Jacquet, who unfortunately suffered a arm or shoulder injury in a match with Rennes for what is currently his home team right now before he joins us in the summer. It's said that it is to be a serious injury. And while this has been a quote and tossed around in headlines, let's just see exactly what we're talking about. It could be a multitude, if not all three of the following things. It could be a dislocation with ligament damage, could be a couple of months out, could be AC joint separation. Again, something that could be up to about 4 months out, or it could be a torn labrum or a messed up labrum in some way. And, either way, surgery is going to push something like that back significantly. I mean, these timetables I'm giving you, I'm depending on what it is. Again, dislocation, which I have suffered in my knee. Not that I had it in the arm, but when I had it in my knee, it was roughly a 3 to 4 month process until I got better. AC joint separation, I'm not entirely sure what that consists of. I'm no doctor, but the fact that it's telling me 4 to 12 weeks could be something that is a very big deal. And a labrum damage, well, I've watched enough professional wrestling and I've seen enough people have a torn labrum to know that when they have a torn labrum or some sort of messed up shoulder injury like that, they're almost guaranteed to be out at least 5 to 9 months at the absolute most. And worst of all, it would be season ending for him, for Rennes, if that was the case. So we're already getting off to a bad start today. The question we've all been asking ourselves is, should Liverpool be concerned or alarmed even? Some say yes, we should be concerned because, well, we've already signed a deal with him. Now he's hurt. Where does that leave us in an already increasing issue with defensive depth? And of course, they will certainly influence any surgery decision if need be. Of course, Liverpool and their medical team will need to have a full detailed analysis and imaging themselves so that they can determine what is best for Jacquet. But let's put it this way, and not that I hope that anybody gets injured. I hope there are seldom few people in sports that I hope get injured because they're pieces of shit, whether it's in football, American football, hockey, etc. It's better that he is injured now and has the summer to recover than something to happen in August where he's out for what could possibly be more than half the season. Let's just put that into perspective. It's February right now. We still have until August until he officially plays for us. So the fact that it's happened this early in the year, while not great, might also be a godsend too at the same time. Because not only will it give him time to recuperate, it'll give him, his fitness might not be up to par, but he'll at least still have some time to rest his body before a much more, probably more grueling test in a Premier League schedule, especially with a team the likes of Liverpool, depending on if they play any other competitions over the course of the year. Again, where does this leave us? Defensively fucked if this is to go any longer than what I am projecting it to be. If we lose Konate over the summer, that just makes it even more worse. And that would just be an absolute kick in the balls for the team. And if you put this into perspective, though, as far as Jacquet himself, he's a young guy. He's 20 years old, barely missed any games before. Shoulder injuries are, at least in football or soccer are much more recoverable than, say, an ACL, a knee, ankle, foot, anything of that nature. So the good news is that this is a part of the body that is not necessarily needed all of the time when it comes to the sport. So we could be glad it's that particular part of the body. Not that it makes it any better, but the bottom line is it's pretty serious. It's not career altering. At least I don't think it is. But it could potentially be Liverpool changing depending on what goes on throughout the course of the spring and the summer. We might not be the only person losing another player. It seems like Mo Salah could potentially. There's talks once again of him going to Saudi Arabia to replace Ronaldo there, which I wouldn't be shocked happens this summer. You know, Mo Salah's deal does not expire until 2027, so realistically, we have another year of him with the team. The sad part is that I can see this happening sooner. I can see it happening as soon as this summer, losing Salah to Saudi Arabia, which is something that has been in talks for the better part of the last 2 to 3 years now. It also, helps that Salah is essentially a global Muslim icon, so that part of the world would obviously adore him if he chose to play, pulling in absolutely massive numbers and massive recognition for Middle East and African football. And the crazy part is he's still able to do quite a bit of production in his older age when it comes to football, which he's 33 going on 34. So Saudi hasn't just been persistent in its quest for Salah, it's also been part of a Liverpool situation. So clearly, like I said, he's a bit of an aging player. As much as I hate to admit that, it's a fact of the matter. He's on absolutely insane wages for a player of his standing, and he has great output. He's an absolute influence when it comes to being on the field, especially. And I think he's probably more valuable than most players on the field, frankly, at times. But the fact of the matter is, he is now no longer untouchable, and it seems like, regardless of how we feel about Mo leaving, the tension between him and Slot, which is something that people have been constantly talking about since last year, that little blow up with the media, we ask ourselves, how likely is this to happen now? Because is Slot going to be? Are they so unaligned in the sense where Slot is going to push Salah out? I don't know. I don't think the club would do him that disrespectfully, because I can't see this being more than an absolutely admirable break. If it isn't, and there is a lot more drama than we all would like to say that there will be, I would be heartbroken given how much Salah has done for the club in all of these years of him being on the team. So I don't think Liverpool will push him out, but I feel like at some point in time, Salah might feel like he's being pushed out, like he talked about in that media interview. And it would suck. It would suck because clearly we're acquiring players that make him feel like he's slowly being replaced. And let's be honest, again, he's an aging player. We have to get a little bit younger. I think Ekitike is probably one of the better options we have. Isak, obviously, when he's healthy and starts producing, because he wasn't really doing all that to begin with when he was here, or not injured, I should say. Clearly these are big names that are going to become a part of the team for a very long period of time, hopefully. And the fact of the matter is Salah might feel a little bit threatened with his position. So depending on how Salah feels, we'll see how soon of an exit he might have, and we'll see just how soon Saudi tries to pick him up. So if you ask me, if he is to leave, whether it's during the summer or even next January, I'm sure Liverpool will try to negotiate very, very hard to get a very, very big price tag for him so that they feel like they're not getting fucked over, especially considering his, legacy on the team. I don't think they'd want him to leave on a free without getting something for him. So that would certainly suck. Realistically, I have to prepare myself for him no longer being on the team as soon as the summer, which sucks. And that makes me sad. And again, I don't think it'll be a forced exit, but I certainly think it'll be a exit in which that the mindset of the club is now putting him more in the past and focusing more on the future as far as who they've acquired in Ekitike, Isak, and whoever else potentially they want to sign when Salah eventually does leave. So I don't really know where this leads us right now. What I do know is, like I said earlier, today's matches have left us absolutely fucked. Let's put this into perspective. Arsenal won today, United won today, and Chelsea won today. 3 outcomes that we could not afford to happen. We now sit in 6th place at 39 points overall in the Premier League table. Chelsea being 4 above us at 43. United, 5. Villa at 47, same thing with Man City. Arsenal, of course, still stand at 56, top of the league. Most likely could win if they keep up their productivity when it comes to goals. This is why people are becoming increasingly angry and discontent with Arne Slot's style of football. This is why I said everything I said in the last video I put out, which was Thursday. You can't sit here and tell me that style of play is going to become more memorable when the style of play we are creating or trying to be associated with now is leading us to draw against absolutely garbage teams that we used to absolutely smack. Realistically, we should be in that top 5 that I just listed down. That is where we should be right now. But no, we drew against Leeds and plenty of other shit teams. It's absolutely pitiful. And now it means that we have no choice but to win against Man City tomorrow, which actually might do pretty bad for us because we actually realistically could need Man City to win for them to even remotely come close to Arsenal, which, again, the more and more Arsenal pulls away and the less and less Man City decides they want to produce, it looks more and more likely that Arsenal will be the winners of the Premier League season this year. I do not want that to happen. And I know it sounds sacrilegious to say, but again, I would rather see City win than Arsenal. If it means beating us again, I'll take it. Sue me. That's all I have to say. Basically, if we can't even get in that top 5, like I talked about this too. Not being in Champions League contention is like not an option for us. That is what, to me, is what is going to determine if Slot has a job at the end of the season. If he could somehow find a way to maybe even get us in the Europa League, I don't give a fuck at that point, as long as we are playing for some sort of silverware. But if we're playing for nothing, get him the fuck out. And you know what's even funnier? Chelsea and Man City fire their coaches halfway through the season. And look how they're doing now. Look at where they're at in the table. United was shit last year. Now they're in 4th place, moving on to potentially Champions League football. Chelsea, Europa League, and they fired their coach before United did. So they have seen increasing turnarounds in their team and their coaching. And Liverpool continues to be stuck under the Arne Slot spell. So this makes tomorrow's game not only a must-win for us to even remotely stay in contention for any sort of position in the Champions League or Europa League, but it also means that we have to fuck City over in winning the league this year too to prevent Arsenal. So it's like trying to it's like hanging yourselves from 2 sides of the same rope. No side is going to be a good option. Do I want to win? Yes. Do I do do I want us to win in the sake that Man City loses and loses points? I don't really know. I know that sounds insane to say, but I hate Arsenal, and I especially hate them this year. And as much as I hate Man City, I want them to be as close in contention as possible so that when Arsenal hopefully bottles, City can pull up behind them and steal the league. But let's just talk about it, shall we? We have an absolutely big match to talk about. Heavyweight battle. Liverpool versus Man City. We're finally looking coherent again, which is saying a lot considering how much of an awful year we've had. We look like a team that is finally starting to come together a little bit, putting out pretty solid performances, regardless of what league we are playing in. It is also no secret that Man City struggles at Anfield. It is there's a stat here. It's about 1 win in 22 league visits is doing a lot of heavy lifting, but it is a legit statistic. So we got absolutely embarrassed earlier in the season at their stadium. I think we lost 3-0 or something. It was honestly at the time a pitiful display to watch. So I asked myself the question, what needs to happen? What has to be different? Clearly, defensively, we have to be much more solid. Thankfully, in the last match, we were, but it's still something that needs to be, we need to see it to actually happen. All right, we need to see them being defensively coherent. Obviously, we got shut out. We had a clean sheet on us, so we need to score goals. The question is, who's going to score? I'm not really sure. I mean, my starting 11 is a little bit, I'd say it's a little bit crazy, but I'm going to let you be the judge. This is who I have starting to both defend as well as strike. Alisson obviously is in net. I don't think he was the last time. I think Mamardashvili was in net because Alisson was hurt, but I can't quite remember, to be honest with you. Even then, we know Alisson will hopefully have help. He'll help us out a little bit because he is an elite keeper. At the right back position, as much as I don't like this, because I would rather him be in the midfield, I think Szoboszlai is probably the next best option for us in there right now. Except I don't like him being so far away from the offensive aspect of the game. Konate and Virgil at center back, and of course Kirkez I think has to be at left back. He's been doing exceptionally well lately, so let's keep that momentum going. Robertson can obviously sub in if Kirkez has any problems with having a yellow card or struggling, but I think Kirkez starts the game. Double pivot in the midfield with Gravenberch and McAllister, I think is probably our best option. You could also throw Curtis Jones in there, or at least he can sub on if need be for either of the two. Although, I'm not going to lie, I trust Jones a little bit more than McAllister. But I still think McAllister maybe could get the start because he's been doing pretty solid in his own right since that Karabag match. And now for the front, which is Salah, Verts, which I think should go without saying. And as much as I hate to say this, it's Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo is going to have to start. I feel like that's a no-brainer for Slot. He's going to do it. He's going to do it anyway, so he might as well. And Ekitike will be our guy in the front with the 4-2-3-1 formation. So as long as we keep feeding Ekitike, I think we actually might be a pretty solid team. I don't know, man. I'm just really stressed out about this. It's the Szoboszlai thing is kind of giving me a tactical risk uneasiness that I just don't feel comfortable with. And I know Szoboszlai has been a good right back, but after reading the quotes he's been talking about that he'd much rather be in the midfield or have a spot in the midfield, it makes me feel a little bit uneasy about his actual comfortability in that area of the field. And I'm not really sure. That's probably the biggest tactical risk Slot will have to take into account. Or we can throw Joe Gomez in there, which I believe he's actually, he might potentially be back. Frimpong, I think, is still going to be out for a couple weeks. So, as far as a result goes, I don't know. I hate predicting how the matches are going to go because most of the time I have been very wrong. In this case, I am of the opinion that it's going to be a draw, and I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game at all. Or City's going to squeak out a win against us. I don't think we come out of this match unscathed. That's for sure, as far as points go. I mean, we might score a goal, but I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game at all. I think it's going to be a typical problem of us trying to face the low block and us struggling against it. And then we're going to struggle to make creative decisions and offensive creative decisions. And it's just going to be a mess from there. Whether or not the defense holds firm is yet to be known. But obviously, when I have my video after the match, you'll know my thoughts then. Thanks so much for checking out today's Liverpool Latest. I appreciate you guys being here. Leave a like, comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Although I hope we do well, I don't know. This, with everything that has been going on in the league today, I can't help but feel that I don't really know what I want to happen. So, with that said, I hope you don't crucify me, but I thank you for being here on today's video. Join the Liverpool Latest family and know that you never walk alone. God forbid we lose today, we certainly will all be walking alone because we will all probably have no hope in this team. See you guys on the next one.